the other question is also sort of you have these subject matter experts that keep monitoring this and so on. So there's a wider group.
That's right. Well, let me go back. One thing I forgot, I asked you to put on your slide and you forgot, because I didn't email it to you, was that we built a demo. And that was really critical. That was really critical. We built a demo. We got autonomy to give us the software for a very small number of users. And we put it on our laptop, and we went out to sell this. And for a whole year, we had nothing. We were limited to 12 people who could sign on, and we demoed it. And Dan and I don't know how many federal agencies we went to. It was like, it was Wednesday, it must be GSA. It was Thursday, it's place else. And that was very helpful. And that, I don't know how we arranged all that, but basically, that cost us, we got that limited use license for $55,000. So for $55,000, we were in the game. And then after that, we went, and then every time I would sell a share, basically, I would pick up a governing team. So the governing team would start growing slowly, and they were taking real ownership because they realized that for their investment to be worthwhile, they had to get more partners. So we have this governing team, which has really, as I said yesterday, the governing team, we had a birthday party for one of the members. I mean, we really had knitted together as a working group, and they now tell their other agency friends, what do you mean? NASA, if NASA doesn't come in with money this year, they're sort of being drummed out of my whole, I meet with all these 75 agencies once a month. The large.
Be careful what you say, there's a representative of NASA here.
Good. Good. We'll count you in. I can wait till August when that money comes back. So we really did things. This is really small potatoes, but it got us going in this. And so it was not much manpower. And I think the great credit is to the software. The software.
Off the shelf.
It was off the shelf. People like that. They could see immediate results as we demonstrated. It wasn't going and just selling, PowerPoint presentation, but they could go in and we could try their queries right there when we were talking to them. I think that was one of the key things. So it was really a low budget. But now we're getting great successes, and with the Katrina, that's why we had to increase, because if they could get to a computer, we open it, and anybody can go in and query. So the general public, if you remember, in one of the news stories, a week after Katrina, there was a man who had gotten his way back into his home in New Orleans. And why was he going back? To save one thing, an antique wedding dress. People's association with their personal historic properties is unbelievable. In fact, I have somebody down there working with Red Cross now on post-Katrina, post-disaster trauma. And she knows about the portal. So if they're concerned that their photographs have been ruined, that the wedding dress is all soggy or something else, they're using our portal now to go in and get information on how they can save their photographs and so forth. So it's really wonderful that this little tool, which was for us so we can comply with public laws, is available to the public, and we know they're using it because our user numbers have spiked considerably. And that's also why we had to speed up the spidering, because one organization in particular, and Mississippi Heritage and a couple others, they were loading stuff up every day right after Rita and Katrina. And so we had to capture that to make sure that people coming in got the information on what to do about mold, all those other awful things that happen. Now, try it. Did you get the address? And I came off without my little folder, but I did bring some cards.
Historicpreservation.gov.
Yeah, and I did bring some cards.
Historicpreservation.gov, one word, historic preservation.
So you are welcome not only to, if you want to get in touch with me, but the address is down here at the bottom for our website. And you can go try it and let me know when it works or when it doesn't work.
Any other questions?
Well, I think that in a field, and you could look at endangered species. There are some fields for which I think this will work very well. And a lot of it, since I'm in the environmental area, I know that area better. But you think all the people working endangered species issues, or all the people working clean air issues, clean water issues, pollution prevention issues, solid waste management issues, those things, I think, those are vertical fields in a sense, and so vertical searches, I think, would
You
work
mentioned
well.
environmental. Years ago, I did some work for EPA and career development, and I recall that one of their major areas was this whole library, of information, regulations, tools that were kept like almost on a real sort of library. Is that what you have been judiciously using, kind of going into a large database and they're all separate compartments just to combine the learning, et cetera?
People would go off and take their 3-day training course. They come back with these big binders. They're usually 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch. Now people get training binders that are 5 inches. They would sit there. By the time the issue came up for which they received the training, the binder was then out of date. And I think that's why we're all in this business. But that's what had happened before. So we basically are taking those binders and spidering them.
Yeah.
Now, get that. And also what's wonderful is, when you're doing training, there's nothing better than to be able to say at the end of a warm body class, to say, all right, now when you get home and 2 months from now, when that issue comes up, it's not the binder you want. You want to be able to go right in the portal. You want to be able to know that that site has been updated. The spiders are bringing you the new stuff. And at every field, that's what they want. Any course you go to and you get a binder this day, those trainers are out of touch. Excuse me. That's my
Thank you very much. We had the survey. Is that what you wanted me to do?
Oh, if folks get a chance to, there's a
No, please.
4321 survey form.
Survey. I wanted to comment on something I kind of perceived in your voice, which was something that I think is very important about knowledge management. That's a certain amount of passion. And I think I perceived that in your last comment there. And I think that's a fine note to wrap up on. That one of the things that differentiates those of us who are knowledge management from just pure, cold, crass IT folks, we're a good bunch of folks, but we certainly seem to have a passion about going to that next step. And I think that's an important thing. And I see that in what you've done and in your enjoyment.
It's fun.
Well, of course, fun is part of passion. Absolutely. Were there any other orders of business, Eric?
Just you mentioned the eGovCam conference, and members get a 25% discount.
Everybody understood that if you intend to attend the eGov conference, make sure you save some money for yourself by contacting us and getting the access code, which will save you 25%. Are there any other orders of business from anybody here tonight?
Can we send this survey to you by email or by?
Yeah. Well, were you asking, Eric, that people would just fill it out tonight, or?
Yeah, it's.
But if you have a comment you'd like to send us a comment by email, we'd certainly appreciate that as well. We really appreciate that. Any other points? All right, we'll call the meeting to a close, and thank you much for attending tonight. Hope you appreciate it.
Thank you.